Hey, Phil, it's good. It's good to be a Buffalo these days.
It is good to be a Buffalo, man. I had a chance to hop in for a little bit during the watch party with you and Bailey. Shout out to y'all, man. And it seems like when I got off the call, things just kept rolling for the Buffs, man. Anytime your best player can sit out during an entire half, typically a pretty good sign that you're out there balling out. And it wasn't even a flawless performance, and they still kicked their ass, which to me is like, man, like to end the game and look like, hey, we still got things that we need to work on, but you still win 34-7, to me is a good sign that, and I said this to you during the watch party, when I watched the Colorado team, to me, they look like a real team. Like they look like a serious team that's coached. There's a culture there, obviously, and there's improvement there in my eyes. But Matt, what was your overall just take and view just watching this game?
It was needed. You know, they needed to go there and beat the hell out of these people, and they did. And they didn't play perfect, but they played well. That defense is mean, bro. Like, they are mean, they're opportunistic, and they didn't even have their best player. I mean, Travis probably shouldn't have played. I admire the toughness, but, you know, hopefully he can be healthy for Saturday night in Folsom, because that's 5-2 Cincinnati against 5-2 CU for a ranking, number one, and an opportunity to go maybe play for the Big 12 title. That's how big that game is on Saturday night for both teams. So, look, I thought Shedeur was okay. And look, and I'm okay with that, because I don't know how many times I've said this, but Mark Jones just said it on his broadcast, and Brock Heward said it on his broadcast. But of course, he didn't quote me. But when Shedeur doesn't have to do everything, he can do anything.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do everything in this game, and it made it so he could even make a couple of mistakes, and they still roll. So, look, man, if they're going to play complimentary football and they're going to run the ball, the offensive line was awesome. I saw them pulling tackles, and Smalls, the tight end, was killing people on his rat plays, on all the scissor stuff with the tight end, and they're moving people at the point of attack. And look, people can say that Arizona's not any good, but they were favored, and tons of people picked them. So, you know, that narrative is getting played out here. You play who you play. I was impressed. I think that Coach Prime has found his sweet spot. I think he knows how to recruit the portal now. He's got the right coaches. Livingston is a fucking home run hire. I mean, I don't have really a whole lot of negative shit to say about this, man. 7 sacks, only giving up 1. It's almost like it's almost me looking at it from a bird's eye view and just taking away the logo and the love for the logo, obviously. I think it's a really good football team with a lot of depth, and they just keep rolling new guys in that make plays. And I mean, shit, bro, that arguably didn't have their best running back. They didn't have Travis Hunter for more than a half, and he probably shouldn't have been playing. They just rotated Hood in. He's got 2 picks in 2 weeks. Shiloh played a little bit, made a couple of plays, but didn't play a ton. So they can guard him a little bit too. Just wait until this team gets healthy. Holy shit.
Hey, Matt, congrats on the win, man. Big win. Arizona, hot to play there. Started at 90 degrees, I believe, at kickoff. It's always different. Coming from altitude to the desert is always a challenge. Let me ask you, you mentioned on defense you were tough, tenacious, and nasty. What's the difference between this week playing them being tough, tenacious, and nasty, and then getting ran through against Kansas State when they weren't tough, tenacious, and nasty? What is the big difference in that? Can they be tough, tenacious, and nasty every week, or is it competition, you think, or is it a better team, or what?
I think it's a different kind of toughness. They got up in this game and were able to pin their ears back and rush the passer, 7 sacks. In the Kansas State game, they were down, 24-14 in the fourth quarter, and Shedeur had to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and he did. It didn't work, but he did. I think that the physicality of K-State, initially kind of jumped on them a little bit, and they weren't ready for it coming off the bye week. But again, like Nebraska taught Colorado a lesson earlier in the season, I think Kansas State also taught Colorado a lesson. Last year, they weren't learning from their losses. They kept losing 1-score games. This year, they seem to be learning from their losses. And I talk about this as a coach. I was talking about this morning at 5 a.m. with a new kid that signed up. You're not, bro, I don't care if you fail. I care about your attitude while you're failing. Are you learning from this? Are we going to do this again? Or is this repetitive losing nature that's inside of you? And last year, there were still, even though he turned the roster over, there were still a lot of guys there that had been in a repetitive losing atmosphere forever. And I think now year 2, sitting at 5-2 and a chance to go 6-2 before a massive game, a bye week, and then a massive game going to Lubbock to play Texas Tech. I think that everything that we've seen is a learning opportunity. And look, they're not going to – I didn't think they would go undefeated. But looking at the rest of their schedule, I think they should win every game they play from now on.
Hey, Matt.
BYU and Iowa State's just slipped by the skin of their teeth this weekend. I don't think they're both going to be undefeated. I don't think you'll have an undefeated team in the Big 12. So all these tiebreakers, Kansas State and Iowa State played the last game of the year. BYU already beat Kansas State, but Iowa State and BYU don't play, and CU doesn't play Iowa State or BYU. So I don't know how this is all going to shake out, so you can only play the schedule you got. Right now, if that defense plays the way they did and they can play with the lead, I think that this is the best team in the conference.
See, I only think they play that way when they're shitty teams, though, against shitty teams. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? If I know you hate to hear this narrative, but if I told you that before the season we were like, oh fuck, man, this league is way better. We all said it. Like Steve Kim and I and Smitty and we had a discussion. We're like, fuck, I don't see where they get 6 wins at, because preseason. Let's just talk pre. This schedule was like Oklahoma State's supposed to be this and this.
Yeah,
and this.
They're 0-4.
These teams are shitty, and the league has turned into be actually shitty. And I know you hate to hear this, and I know you're an insider. You see the building and the culture change and all these things. But if the naysayers and the haters like me and everybody, if I were to say like Matt, I think it's the same team as last year. I just think the conference is that bad. I think the Pac-12 last year was light years ahead of this team. You lost to a guy like Cam Ward.
Last year was awesome.
But Cam Ward left the league. I'm just saying, let's just talk about semantics. Cam Ward left the Pac-12. He goes to ACC, and you have a Washington State team now, or you got all these teams that have just basically went like this. And then this team had all that in the Pac-12 last year. You had a much better quarterback league. You had a much better league. And as far as we had 3 or 4 teams, we were on this show talking about possible playoff contenders. Who's going to win? Oregon, Washington? Is it going to be Utah? Is it going to be fucking this? And then they all left, broke it up. And then it goes to the Big 12. And now we thought, oh shit, Big 12 might be better than it is. And it's not. It just isn't that good. I think it's the same team, Matt. I know you're inside. I think it's the same team in a shittier league. That's all.
I don't see how. I don't see how. Who'd you pick on Saturday?
Arizona.
No shit. So look, I'm just saying, if you can't see the improvement in the team and the defensive line and the linebacker play, the defense especially, and how much better they're making the offense. Look, do I think the league is better than last year? No, absolutely not. But do I think that the Big 12 is terrible? No, I don't think that either. I think that the teams that were picked at the bottom of the league are a lot better than the ones that they thought would be at the top. And that's why you don't listen to the fucking media when they pick, and like rankings don't mean dick. We have to play. So
yeah, look,
I know I'm a homer, and I don't know if I would have gone the other way, but I'm ultra critical of this team as well.
No, when they don't run the ball,
they are. They're real.
Yeah. Let me. I know you come out and say, "Hey, man, I want to see some pin and pull. I want to see some counter trey."
And they did it, like tackles pulling, and they're getting creative in the run game. Like I was with it.
Man, I know you're going to stand on it and say when you need to say shit, especially as an alum and as a former player. You are passionate about this group. But I'm on the other side of just saying, man, I see the improvement in bodies types. I see the improvement in some things, but I also see the bad football that they're playing. And I think, and I want to bring this up to you, and I was fucking with you on your live when I was loaded, but Nebraska getting beat by Indiana by 60 does not look good for Colorado. And I don't mean it even in a playoff sense. Let's just say Colorado runs the table and they're in the conversation as the conference winner to get into the playoff. I think that's a huge, huge bad black eye for Colorado, because again, to my point, I think this league and these teams are so bad in a watered-down product in college football that Nebraska goes to Indiana and gets beat by fucking 60, And now that loss to Colorado lost to Nebraska, pretty major loss, now looms bad over their head. I just think that's a horrible loss. What do you think about me? What do you want to call me for that?
I just
delusional, slapdick.
It's a 5 weeks later and totally different circumstances.
That's fair. That's fair. That's
look.
Fair.
I also think it's ridiculous that you don't think college football is good. College football is fucking awesome. It is super competitive every week. Damn near every game is a fucking. It's either a show of great talent or it's a dogfight. Tennessee, Alabama was a fucking dogfight. You can talk about some of the problems in the game. Every game has problems. People fuck up all the time. Texas A&M is on a roll. Texas, Georgia was a fucking baptism. Welcome to the SEC. Like it's just Army and Navy. Their stories are fucking incredible. Incredible. The fact that you could get both those teams playing in the conference championship and the Army Navy game the next week. It doesn't get better than that. The Army quarterback should get invited to New York since we're talking about the Heisman. You got a guy at Boise State that's going off that might break Barry Sanders' rushing record. You got fucking good quarterback play in the ACC, and guy, you don't know who's going to win that conference. Clemson and all their white dudes might win. Rowdy White, right at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Miami's back. I think that the entire landscape of college football right now, when you look at a 12-team playoff, you've got I bet you've got 40 teams. 40 going into November, which has never happened before in the history of college football, that have a chance to make the playoff.
Well, we've never had 12 teams make a playoff.
That sit in their team room, and you know this, coach. Give a fuck what the media says. Sit in their team room and go, look at the schedule. If we run the table or we go 6-1 or 5-1 to finish the season, we have a chance to play for the playoff. How fucking motivated are you? And I got goosebumps talking about it right now. Like,
here's why
everything's in front of so many teams. It's incredible. College football is fucking sick right now.
Yeah, but we're only saying that because now we have 12 teams allowed. If it was last year,
obviously that's why I'm saying it's so cool. What the fuck?
I know, but
I'm a fan of the 12 team. I've been a fan even before it started. I know JB's been anti-12 teams.
They should go to 14.
Yeah, I think then we should go to 70.
If you wanted to, if they played a fucking March Madness 64-game college football tournament, it would be the fucking coolest thing ever.
I know we'd have nobody play. Nobody would play. They'd all opt out. Yeah, it'd be real fucking nice.
I don't think guys are gonna opt out. I think guys are gonna get into the playoffs.
I'll bet you any amount of money. I bet anyone any amount of money there's gonna be holdouts in the playoffs this year.
I would think that every kid will play their balls off to go win a national title. I don't think anybody will fall out.
I guarantee it. There's somebody going to sit out.
Well, then Bailey, clip this fucking receipt right here, and we'll see.
And I've been saying that. There's a bunch of videos from me saying that.
I know you think everybody in this generation's a bunch of bitches, and they're all
motivated. I really don't.
I get it.
It's half, Matt. I think the coaches are a bunch of bitches, too. I think us as adults have allowed a lot of shit. And to your point, correction is not criticism. And now when we correct you now, Matt, we are too hard on you. And now I'm like, whoa. And then I can go to the portal because I can't hold an immature young man accountable anymore because they'll just go fucking sulk and then enter the portal and suck their teeth.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. My college coach used to always say, if I fuck up on one of you soft motherfuckers in here, I have to ride you for 5 years. I wish I could just go to the NFL and cut you. Well, now college football is the NFL. If we fuck up making a recruiting mistake and this kid's a pussy and he can't fucking get out of bed and he can't stop smoking dope and he's entitled, and then hit the portal, motherfucker. I'll find somebody else.
Yeah, but that's allowing it, though.
Speaking of Indiana, though, they have 80 transfers. Yeah. They're undefeated. Yeah. So the transfer portal thing might work.
Hey, but listen, you would not renege today and come on this show and tell me that wasn't what you needed, though, at that time.
Well, yeah, but it's also I can't compare myself to the kids these days. I don't know. Look, time out. I'm going to just let me finish. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I got kicked out of school when I was a sophomore. I got kicked out. I had to go to community college for drinking and partying. I didn't get to play in the Fiesta Bowl on the starting defensive end on the 0-1 championship team. I got suspended. I got kicked out of school all spring. I came back and broke my fucking leg and missed an entire season the next year. I would have been an absolute perfect candidate for the transfer portal. Yeah. And I bet you they would have told me to go in it. And that's just the nature of the business.
No, I disagree. I disagree.
And back in the day, Gary Barnett gave me the opportunity to come back. I didn't want to go sit out and go somewhere else.
And real quick, JB, that's a good point too.
Now, if I'm coming off of I just started 11 games. We're a conference champion. I played really well, and I got in trouble. And I go to and all of a sudden, teams are like, "Hey, we're not going to suspend you. We're not going to do shit. We're going to bring you into the transfer portal and pay you this amount to come be a mercenary for us." I'm not saying that I would have gone, but I'm not saying I'm not going to listen.
Right.
I disagree. I think that you would have been a perfect candidate for fucking JUCO.
Okay, well, JUCO is the transfer portal, dog. What's the difference?
Not anymore. Going back to Colorado. No, that's my point. It ain't the transfer portal.
No, but even Matt went to JUCO. He goes to JUCO, and he's gonna go to another school after that.
Go to a different school,
so
exactly.
Or you can go back. No, you can go back. A lot of guys went back.
I never saw anybody go back ever.
Oh, there's a guy. I send guys all the time. It's called "We take you off the marketing list." Hey, I want him back. I got to get him back. I need him to get out of here for a year, and you get him right.
You would probably have more. You'll have more of a history with that than I would. I never saw anybody come back that left.
Yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying? Like coaches take guys off. Hey, JB, just don't put him on the marketing list as a guy getting recruited this year because I want him back. I've done that 30 times plus. But let me ask you something.
To argue that point, though, there are guys that go in the transfer portal and then go back to their same school.
Right. That's what I don't get.
Well, it's called leverage, homie. It's when you have the hammer as a player and you want to leverage your opportunity to get paid more. That's what you have to do. It doesn't matter if someone doesn't like it. Fuck what you think. Yeah. Not you or anyone like specifically.
Yeah,
I'm saying if I'm the player and I'm good and I say, okay, I'm going to go in the transfer portal or you're going to give me what I'm worth. And they say, prove it. I'm going to the transfer portal. That's the way this works. Like people don't have to play for stipend checks and for free anymore. So go get yours, dog. Fuck. I'm with this right now. Until the NCAA changes this or they fucking figure out a salary cap or whatever the fuck they're going to do, mercenary ball is on and popping.
No, it is. We're always going to disagree on this. So that's what makes it great.
Correct. Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. You're the head coach. Arizona's people get fired and they hire Coach JB. And you want to turn the roster over. You're not going in the transfer portal to get your guys?
Here's the difference, and it's a great question. Here's why I think there's a difference. Like I was talking to Sark and Lane last year about this, and I'm like, dog, why are you guys great recruiters who have a name in the portal so much? And you know what their answer was to me? I got to keep up with the Joneses.
Well,
to your point, and I'm just like, damn, you're at Texas, homie. Ole Miss. Like, why do you got to keep up with the Joneses? Create your own Joneses. Like, that's where but it's a great question, and you caught me in a catch-22 because if I just took over, is what your question was?
Yeah, man. If you have to go like rebuild the program.
I have to go get some. No doubt. I got to go.
Nettie, Deion Sanders, like you ain't got to like in that situation.
Here's what Kirk did, though. Here's what Kirk did, who I've known for a long time. I went in there and evaluated the roster that I was left. All right, that's what he did. He went in there and evaluated the roster. The first thing a head coach does is evaluate the O-line. Like, let's be honest. Matt, you would think that too, and then D-line would probably be second.
I do think that.
So I'm going in there right now, and I'm going to say how many, and I'm going to go, how many fucking Matt McChesneys do I have on this roster? And if I do have some, and I go have a meeting with them and sit down, and they're somewhat engaged, and I can get them to stay. I'm working my first few weeks on the job doing that, and then I'm going to go figure out my quarterback situation, and then obviously I've made my coaching hires. First of all, it's always O-line hire A1. DC hire B2, and then I've hired the rest of the slapdicks underneath those two. And then I figured out what do I have in the roster and what I need to go get. Because some places you may have a culture already within the program, like DeBoer inherited at Alabama. That's a rarity. But some places like Ohio State and Florida and other places that coaches have taken over have somewhat of a winning culture or some sort of resources to create one. I don't need to gut the whole thing, but I got to go plug and play. I got to go get me a Q. I got to go get me a 3-tech. I got to go get me a shade. I got to go get me a fucking freak pass rushing Jermaine Johnson. I got to go get me 2 lockdown corners. Then I build a place. Now, if it's a place like North Texas or something, Matt.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I got to go get 80 cats, to your point.
Well, Indiana just got Indiana's in the Big Ten, and they went and got an Alabama assistant who was there under Saban for a long time and got 80 cats, and they're undefeated. And then number two, I just have to say, you did say that you would go to the portal and you would get a badass quarterback and like all these skill players and a bad motherfucking DB. Well, that sounds just like Coach motherfucking Prime. That's exactly what he did. They just happened to be his kids. Ring it up, drop that motherfucking receipt, boom.
But I wouldn't lose 80 a year either.
Yeah, but they didn't lose anything, dog. They lost everybody from a 1-11 shit show.
Hey,
name one player from the team they lost. I can't because I worked with a bunch of them. I love you guys. I'm not talking shit. If you think if you're upset, call me. Name somebody from that fucking team right now that they lost that is contributing somewhere else at a fucking high clip where we're like, oh my God, that guy's incredible.
The tackle at Syracuse is not an NFL guy balling?
Savion, what's his name? Savion Washington's a good player, yes.
The back at K-State?
Dylan Edwards, he's a good player, but he's a sophomore.
I mean, you lost those guys that are contributing. We lost. You lost.
So you need two. That's good.
Hey, your boy McClain had a pick 6.
Where's McClain?
Miami, ain't he, or something?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
What's his name? The shitbird? McClain?
No, I'm talking about the 1-11 team. I'm not talking about when Dion got there. I'm saying the 1-11 team.
Yeah,
the 1-11 team. When he name me somebody off the 1-11 team that's contributing here.
Hold on, though. You got it. I think you guys jumped the gun and critiqued me a little unfairly here. I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I praised Dion. That's why I was talking to him when he took the job and did what he did.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm saying
what I'm saying is we have the mentality as taking over a program that is like that in year 1. I didn't say I was going to do it every year, though. I said now I'm going to create a culture. The first year at Arizona, though, if they're this bad and I take over, yes, I have to go in there and do that. Or find out what I have. Here's what I was going to do this to you for fucking with you. Indiana, Kurt went in there and prayed and begged the O-line to stay. That's what he wanted.
That fucking program, bro. They got 80 new dudes. That's like the
but he kept some O-line there. That O-line that was at Indiana for, I think, 4 of the 5 starters are returning. So
he's good for him. He actually had players up front. That's another good.
That's my point, though. He went in and evaluated the roster and then said, "All right, well, fuck." And we don't. I don't know. You might know more than me on this, but like, who left prior to him coming? 30 guys left prior to DeBoer signing to be the new head coach at Alabama. Matt Rule lost. You know what I'm saying? Like before the coaching hire, how many guys were gone? I don't know if we can contribute that to each head coach that comes in there and says, well, fuck, I can't go back and get them. They're gone already before I sign my contract. But that could be a discussion forever, Matt. I appreciate it. Let me ask you something, though.
Yeah.
Can we talk about you had a segue that was perfect earlier, but we had to continue that conversation because it was good. But you mentioned, like, can we just get – so you agree, I think, Travis is done with the Heisman. I'm pretty sure he's done.
Fucking you agree? I don't believe he's done. What?
How many games?
Because he had one game that he had to come out of injured. If he goes Saturday night and has pick 6 and 10 catches and a touchdown, it's no fucking way the Heisman's no, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. No. So if Gentry has one bad game and goes for 80 yards and 1 touchdown, is he out of the Heisman race?
Yes.
The fuck he is. No way, dude. There's no one else in the country other than maybe Cam Ward, Shador, and the kid from Army that are even in the discussion.
He's at Army. I mean, he's at Boise, though. That's the number 1 knock he's got. You guys already said it on this show. He don't play nobody.
I didn't.
Even though he played Oregon,
I'm asking you if he has a shitty game, is he off the list?
Yeah, I said it too because he's at Boise. I've said it on this show. I go because he's gonna.
Not after Jalen Daniels. They were 9-3 last year, and he had shitty games.
Yeah, but he had Joe Burrow numbers. He had better than Joe Burrow numbers.
I'm not saying he didn't, but they did lose 3 games and not play for Dick, and he still won. So
yeah, but he's
I don't think Travis Hunter's Heisman campaign is over by any means. If anything, I think it's just the fact that people now are going to question it is just going to piss him off.
He has no Heisman moment, Matt. Like, there's no Heisman moment.
What are you talking about? How doesn't he have a Heisman moment?
Smitty, show me the Heisman moment he had. Tell me.
I ain't gonna lie, Matt. Matt. Me and you are always in sync with the Colorado stuff. But I was talking to JB the other day, and I'm trying to sit back and think. I'm like, okay, what was the big moment of this season so far? Where I'm like, damn, that was it. That was the thing.
How about the fucking fumble at Baylor? How about the fucking rundown at CSU? How about the fucking pick at UCF? Where he got up and stuck his hand and said, "That's the Heisman post, bitch."
But that doesn't mean he's a Heisman.
Come on, dog. How about the fact that he's played?
You know what? The fumble at hold on, JB. The fumble at Baylor might be the biggest play. The fumble at Baylor
on top of all the receiver stats, and I can't look. He's done
Colorado,
so much.
Motherfuckers.
Guys, he's done so much. Again, it's all at Colorado. Like, yeah, he's done so much that I can't fucking remember everything he's done. Therefore, I can't sit here and advocate every single play he's made because he's made so many fucking plays. I mean, come on, dog. You can't just come at me with this dumb hater bullshit. Come on.
No, I'm not. I just think that only Colorado fucking people know the moments because nobody else does.
Well, then maybe everybody should fucking pay attention to the best player in the country.
That's the Heisman, though.
I watched the Army quarterback. That kid's a fucking stud.
But Matt, when you know there's a Heisman, but when there's a Heisman candidate, everybody knows the moments he had. Jinty had 203 tubs on the #1 team in America. That's a fucking moment.
That is a moment. You're correct. That's a great Heisman.
What is the moment? What is the moment?
Baylor fumble.
Because he did this? Because he did that? Is the moment?
No. Fuck that. The Baylor fumble. Hold on,
guys, he's the fucking. He
won the game at Baylor. He literally won the game. That fumble, that won the game.
Hey, look, you guys can try and undermine what he's doing all you want. I'm not the one that's going to say it, but everybody else is going to say, "Listen to these dumb motherfuckers."
I know, Roddy White and everybody. Listen. He plays half corner, half wide out, and has missed the complete
half. He plays every snap.
I know that. I'm saying he's half wide out, half corner, and he has missed a complete game. He has no leverage. He doesn't control the ball, Matt. He's not a QB. He's not a running back that can get the ball 30 times.
But he does have the best quarterback in college football delivering him the football consistently.
Yeah, I get it. It looks like fucking 7-on out there. But listen, I'm saying.
It doesn't look like 7-on out there. It looks like a complete football team. You fucking hater. Again, I'm going to ask you this question because I know we're never going to agree. No, I'm going to ask again. Okay, Smitty, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Dog, what the? Yeah, this isn't a fucking moment. That's a huge fucking moment.
I was watching it.
Whatever, Baylor sucks. They just scored 60 fucking points at Texas Tech, but they suck. Let me ask you this. What is it going to take, dog? What is it going to take for you to know and see something special in Boulder? You know how bad we've been for as long as we've been? Do you just want us to stay in the gutter? Why can't you accept the fact? Why can't you accept the fact Shador's a bad motherfucker and Travis is generational and they're better on defense and they can run the ball and they're learning from their mistakes? And even if they lose a game, they come back the next week and play really well. What is it going to take, dog? Fuck, help me.
What you really want from us?
It's not a hate
what
thing. It's a true thing. Come on, Matt. No matter if you say it or I say it or Mina Kime says it. If it's the truth, if it's actually the truth, it's the truth. I don't hate on no team. I could give a shit less who wins or loses. I don't want Colorado. I have much love at Colorado with everybody I've known there forever. My issue is they're not that great of a football team, and either is college football. College football is not very good. They're in a horrible league, Matt. Look at what Texas Tech, who everyone was, Baylor just put up a fucking 60 burger on them. This league is shit.
Matt, hold on, Matt. Look.
Who you play, dog?
Matt, before the season, this schedule's gonna be hard. I don't see 4 wins. The season gets going.
I already cooked you on this topic.
They won more games.
I just cooked you on this topic. I just cooked you on this topic, Smitty. Well, fuck, tomorrow I'm going to win the lotto, and then I didn't win it. Well, fuck, life happens, homie. The league was supposed to be good, and it's shitty.
So basically, Colorado can do nothing, basically. They can't.
No, I didn't say that.
I think the league was kind of good.
Because, listen, if they go 9-3, well, the fucking conference is shitty. So Like
every time they win, the team they played is shitty, but he picks the team that they beat every week.
Well, you know why I do that. But
so let me ask you this. On Friday, do you think Cincinnati is going to beat CU Saturday night at home?
Yep.
Shocker. And then when CU whips Cincinnati's ass, if they do, is
Good
Cincinnati
job,
shitty afterwards?
Mac, fucking congratulations. But listen, this is what happened. If you watch it, they had that fucking fumble late in the game. Cincinnati could have won. Yeah.
It's not like overcoming shit to win. It's the other team's so bad. You just stumble to a fucking win, right?
You guys are 5-2, and you're fucking beating who you're supposed to beat. Kudos to you. I'm not gonna ever hate on that.
Jason, let me ask you this.
We weren't supposed to beat Arizona. We were underdogs. And we weren't supposed to beat UCF. We were underdogs. And we weren't supposed to beat Baylor. We were underdogs.
Keep going.
Hey, why is that? No, seriously, since I'm getting cooked and supposedly and all this by the chat, I give a fuck. I was on the yacht yesterday. I give a fuck about your chat. But listen.
He's like LeBron. He said, at the end of the day, I'm going to go home to my $1 million crib.
So Smitty, how am I wrong? And so is Las Vegas. How is everybody wrong? And,
Vegas had the Jets as a fucking hold on. Vegas had the Jets as a fucking favorite last night, and they got the fucking shit beat out of them.
Here's my point,
underdogs for the Steelers.
Hold on, though. Here's my point, though, Matt. Here's my point, Matt. Come on, dog. Vegas has them as underdog every day because the league was supposed to be good. You mentioned UCF. UCF was leading quickly in rushing and offense. The UCF is fucking horrible. And then we watched
was a play away from beating undefeated Iowa State. I watched the whole game. UCF played their balls off. I thought hold on, time out. I thought Gus Malzahn was a program builder, homie. And I was a fucking idiot. I thought Gus Malzahn was a bad motherfucker, a program builder. I thought that's what was happening.
Guess what? They are shitty. I can't.
Did you watch the Iowa State game? Iowa State and fucking UCF played a goddamn barn burner, homie. 0-4 Oklahoma State took undefeated BYU to the wire. I think the conference is actually pretty good, and the lower level teams have just stepped up, and the upper level teams have not.
JB, can you admit right now, live on the show, that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has changed the culture in Colorado? Can you admit that right now?
Yes.
Thank you. We should end the show now. We got a compliment. Things are going good. We haven't yelled at each other yet or told each other to go fuck off or anything. So, hey, Bailey, we might want to wrap this motherfucker.
I mean, hey, listen. It's a shitty culture, but it's a good culture.
Fuck you.
Matt, we almost had it. We almost fucking had it.
It's a culture. No, seriously. It's a culture that he's created that's working for him. So that is, yes, it's a culture.
So why is it shitty?
Hey,
well, it's not because he's got to have something to hate on. That's why.
No, but this is what y'all don't get. Everyone can hear and talk shit about my culture at Indy. Oh, JB had a shit show going on. People would talk about it with crazy fights, blah, blah, blah. That was my culture, and we won.
That's a good thing. We want to fight.
But that's my point, though. Everyone has their own culture, and that's why I'm never going to hate on Deion for having his culture. And I've said that with Smitty. I've said that on the show. That's his culture, joking aside. That's his culture. If it works for him, fine. I don't believe it's sustainable. I'm just telling you that's his culture. This is a difference between JUCO and D1, though. This seems – I'm looking at this, and I see that I'm about to play Garden City every week. Like, Colorado's a JUCO program. Like, it's not – no offense. Sorry. Listen.
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean.
You can't call somebody a bitch and say no offense.
I'm not taking that.
No. Let me clarify.
I ain't taking that disrespect. Colorado is not a JUCO program. Hold on.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. Yeah, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was not by playing standards. No, they're not a JUCO. I'm saying this is JUCO now. This is JUCO football. This is clearly a JUCO model that we're seeing across America.
So?
And I'm saying it's JUCO, though. So
what?
No, here's the irony, though, Matt. I was hated on and fucking belittled for being that guy creating this culture of recruiting guys from here, doing this.
Well,
and now
Colorado wasn't around when
praised for it. You're fucking a JUCO, homie.
It's a different era, dog. So
I get it. That's why
Indiana, undefeated Indiana had 80 fucking transfers. That's not a bad thing. Who cares?
But that's JUCO. That's my whole point. It's JUCO.
No. It's the NFL. It's roster turnover. When I was with the Dolphins, when we won the division in 2008, We
You
made
don't have
fucking
83 agents,
they made
homie.
75 roster moves in 1 month, dog.
No,
Bill
but
Parcells
you don't have
just
80
pushed
free
motherfuckers
agents
out
per
right and
team.
left.
Matt, you don't have, or let's just be fair. You don't have 50 free agents per team every year. Come on, man. That's not
What? The NFL rosters turn over 40% every single season.
No, I'm saying put it in. Let's equate this. You have 100 rosters in spots in college. You have 53 playable roster spots in the NFL. You're not turning over 50.
It's like
a
70
year.
now with practice squad, but okay.
Okay, but I'm talking about 53-man
Active.
roster. You're not getting 50 of those 53 to be free agents every year, is what my point.
I don't
You
know,
can have
dog. Go look
100.
at the turnover in the NFL. It's pretty extreme.
But you don't have 50 of 53 every year on this one particular team. They sign contracts. There's 3-4 year
No,
deals.
it's 40%. You'll have 25 guys or 30 guys leave a team. The Broncos just did this with Sean Payton. They turned over the entire fucking roster.